Good afternoon, folks. Licinius Rex here again, back with some Scrap Mechanic, and I'm going to try and move as little as possible because even with the graphics set to the absolute lowest setting, as you can see from my screen here, when I move around, everything just blurs. I don't know what's going on with the recording, but we'll do that as little as possible. But what I wanted to show you was, you clicked on the thumbnail, so you've already seen, is what I built today. This is about 140 something blocks tall. It is specifically designed to, I turn it on, very vicious, for these huge trees. It turns out that you can weld with them. So you cut down the bottom of the tree, grab it, weld it, and then we stick it into the top, release it down into the bottom, and it all gets eaten up. The way that I built this was by editing the files once again inside the game to be able to mod it a little bit. So it's a nice blending of creative while still being able to do things inside survival. Now then, if you want to get a huge tree like this, of course, what you can do is you can build some giant contraption, cut the whole thing down, lumber it in place. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. I'm sure you've seen plenty of other YouTubers do stuff. The simple thing is to build something like this. Press the little button. And we're done. That's everything that we need. Okay, now with the tree collapsed, what we can do is we can get our welding tool. We select the center point here, click on it. Then I'm going to run this over to the tower. So here we are at the top. You can see I've got it. We've just dug down. We'll pop it there. It's gone white, so we can click. Boom. And now we have a big, big tree. So there we go. There's the tree. Probably actually a little bit taller than the whole thing needed to be. I was basing it off how tall a tree appeared to be. But let's get going. So what we're going to do is we turn it on. We run all the way back up to the very, very top. And this little guy here, we just pop, and then it drops down. Oops, knocked myself out. But you can see it's going, it's going, it's going. I mean that over, and you'll see because of the edit that I did in the previous video, it collects at a range, and it will just keep doing that all the way through. Nom nom nom, eat the whole thing until every last bit is done. Done. Now then, to be able to do it the way that I've done it, you're going to need a full leveled up one of these. But the most important thing has obviously been the brick. What I've got is, if you look in here, my bricks require only 1 stone, and they produce 100 brick blocks. Now, what this has done is this basically has given me the ability to do anything that I would like to be able to do from creative inside the game here, but still have to deal with all of the bots, everything like that. Now, obviously, you can set it to 0 if you want to, and you can make everything free. You can make it so that you can do anything that you want with these. And we've also got over here a few other things that I've added. Everyone is always complaining that there are not enough component kits. So if we go into parts, you can see component kits. Now, I've got it set to take 1 circuit board and 10 metal. And that gives me 5 component kits, and then I've got 5 circuit board that takes 10 metal. And so that way I'm feeling like I'm not keeping it too crazy. But if I'm trying to build something really quickly, I can quite easily go in and edit this to require 0 of both of them, or to give me 100 component kits. And then I can just go ahead and do whatever I want. Depends on how I'm feeling. And what I've also got here, you can see this is just an example of the kinds of things that you can do. We can make biofuel. So you've got gasoline, which would normally require oil, but instead we've got it so that you can make it with tomatoes, which are one of the easiest crops to be able to farm. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to exit out of the game, and I'm going to go and show you where the files are, how to edit them. There is one final thing that I want to show you, and that is my upgraded hammer. So perfect timing, just before the sun sets. We've got a haybot here, and these normally take 5 hits, but this one, I can hit him. 1, 2. And the reason for that is that I have upgraded my hammer to be able to do more damage. And I will show you how we do that as well. So we're going to close out of the game, and I will show you all of this stuff now. Okay, folks, so what we're going to do is we are going to go back into our survival folder. This time we're going to go into crafting recipes, and we are going to open a couple of files here. We are looking for CraftBot and item names. Okay, so if we go into the CraftBot, what you're going to see is this. Now, this looks pretty confusing. So we've got the item ID. This is here. How many it's going to produce, how long it takes to produce, and then with the ingredient list, with the how many it takes, and then what those items are. And each one of these is one recipe. Now this looks kind of strange at the moment, but if you take this and then we go into our item names and we do Control F and search for it, you'll see that that is the Connect tool, which is the very first thing that appears in the CraftBot's menus. So that's how this works. So if we wanted to create a new recipe, the easiest way to do that would be to copy this. Always best to do that to make sure that you've got the way of doing it right. Let's go in here. Now then, you'll have seen before, I've reset the files here just so that everything is original. So we're going to go to Components. Let's grab that. We'll go back into the CraftBot. We're going to change this here for Components. And then what we're going to do is we are going to change it for Metal Block. There we go. So this is the normal metal block that the scrap metal gets turned into, or that you can harvest from the rocks. So let's take that, we pop that over here, and we put that in here. And we are also, well, in fact, for now, we're just going to get rid of this. So anything within the brackets, including the curly brackets, we get rid of. So it is going to take 10 metal to be able to create one component kit. One thing that's very important to remember when you're editing these is to make sure that you get rid of the comma there. The final curly bracket must not, within this, must not have a comma. This is why copying is so important. You'll see that the final one here doesn't, but this one does because there's something that's going to come after it. So what we do is we just make sure it's gone from there. We click save. We're going to go back into the game now. So what you can see here is, like I showed you before, obviously, like I said, I've reset it, so the other items have gone, but it's there. We've got the component kit. It's 0 and 10. Nice and simple. So you can do this with anything. As I showed at the start of the video, we've got I made the biofuel, for want of a better word, which is the petrol, which was made from tomatoes. And exactly the same process. All that you would need to do is go into the file again. You're going to go into your item name, find the items that you want to make. They go here. Find the items that it wants to be made of. They go here. You can have as many of them as you want. You can whatever that you want here. You can break the game as much as you want, or you can just do interesting things with it. But this is a way of being able to get creative mode actually inside the game working for you, which I think is a really good thing. So one final thing that I wanted to show you was if we go back here, this is going to be able to upgrade our sledgehammer. If we go into scripts, we go into game, and then we head into tools. Let's open up our sledgehammer. Right at the top, local damage is 5. If we change that to 15, that's what I had it set to. Now you can kill Toonbots in 1 hit and Haybots in 2 hits. You can also adjust how much stamina it takes when you swing, what the range is. I haven't tested this, but you could presumably be very, very silly with this. Anyway, folks, that's all we've got time for today. I hope that's all been enjoyable for you. My name's been Licinius Rex.